So Chukat, and we're telling a story about the Baal Shem Tov, and we're talking about the idea of, or the verse that talks about a person who dies in the tent. And the tent, when we say tent, we mean Ohala Shel Torah, the tent of Torah. So, and it's also, the tent could be also referred to the tent of impurity, to where the person goes out into um, when they're when they need to um, stay out of the camp. Okay, so one time the Baal Shem Tov went to one village, and when third meal came, the owner, like kind of like the mafia guy, or like however you want to look at the what do you call it? No, not the the balabusta, kind of like the superior guy of the area, yeah. So something like that. He gathered a few people, and he sat and he drank with them, and they sang together. And it's kind of like not completely understood who he was. And the Baal Shem Tov saw that in heaven, this guy was very, very respected, even though in this world he looked like a very simple person. But he saw that in heaven he was very, very respected. And after the third meal, he called him and he said, "Why are you making it? Why are you going so much out of your way to make third meal?" So he said, "I heard that my soul will be leaving the world amongst people of Israel, and I heard that on Shabbos everybody has an extra soul, and I'm thinking that if my extra soul leaves me on Shabbat, it's probably good. I also want it to leave me around people. I don't want to be alone when my soul leaves me, whether it's my extra soul or my only soul." So that's why I gather people, Jews, around me every third meal to sing and learn with you guys.
Which rabbi is that?
The Baal Shem Tov.
The Baal
It's a guy who met the Baal Shem Tov, or the Baal Shem Tov who met this guy.
When they say extra soul, what exactly does that mean?
I think it means the extra vitality that we get on Shabbat.
Okay.
The extra soulfulness, the idea that we have the opportunity to learn more, to sing more, to concentrate more on soully things and not only on materialistic ones. So even our food, like that's why it's so important to like. It goes both ways. It's so important to sing and learn around our Shabbos table. It's actually important to learn. It's like it's a given that we're learning and singing around the Shabbos table, but it's only not on Shabbos that it says that if we ate actually meat, but preferably anything, and around the table, and we didn't say Divrei Torah, it's like eating from like basically um, like um, like like deadly food basically. And Rabbi Rahman explains that you say that if you feel vital after you've eaten, this is kind of like an idea that combines body and soul. If you feel vital after you've eaten, it means that you have focused also your soul on the eating and not just feeding your body. So that's why we want to add extra Torah to our meals during the week. On Shabbat, it's a given that if we're going to spend time during the week saying a Torah and singing, on Shabbat we have all the time in the world. So we want to add to our meal. We don't want to just feed our bodies, we want to feed our soul. So we spend extra time singing and talking Torah around our table.
It's nice.
So it's like you have the extra food, right? It's like during the week you'll just grab something, but on Shabbat you'll go out of your way to make your meal nice, right? So you also want to make your meal nice on a soully level, not just on a physical level.
Right.
So, yeah,
I heard two other things.
yeah. Go ahead.
One, that we get a piece of the large portion of our soul that exists in the upper world.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing I heard is that it's like a tzaddik. You get a piece of a tzaddik. So I heard both.
So what does that mean?
um, that you're giving me like expanded consciousness.
Okay.
You know that I find that I can study more Torah, get more clarity about what I'm studying, do more prayer. Then I begin to wonder if it's just the lack of having the stimulation of the dopamine from the phone, so I don't have that on the weekend. But I don't know. But I think it's just an expanded consciousness.
Right.
That's what the gift is: expanded
Right.
consciousness, an appreciation, the Shabbos.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Doesn't Mazal
The
also
question,
mean,
does it depend on our actions to receive that? Or is it there without what we do with it? Right? It's a question. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we light candles to bring it down.
Right.
That
But is that enough?
invites.
Like, I find that if I don't make Shabbos, it could be much more depressing than exaltifying.
Mhm.
You know?
Then what?
I find that if I don't make Shabbos,
Right.
right? Like in the Kiddush, what do we say? Lasot et Shabbat.
Right.
What does it mean, lasot et Shabbat? What do you need to make Shabbat? Shabbat just there. It's coming and it's there. Does it really matter if you have one piece of fish or you made all this effort to, right? But it does make your Shabbos to invite a couple of guests, to sing, to tell the Torah, to prepare the Torah on Friday if you don't know how to say it, just off the top of your head. Um, to make your Shabbat, to actually work towards it, that it should get a certain character, right? So then when you're full, when your table is full with foods and your spirit is full of Torah and singing, that's to make Shabbat, right? So I feel like it's to prepare the vessel to receive the extra soul. And if I don't prepare the vessel to receive the extra soul, I feel like my Shabbat could be, I don't know. It doesn't matter even like, if I could be alone. It's great to sometimes be alone and just read and sing to myself and meditate with myself. But the question is again, what am I doing to receive that energy that is there, more accessible maybe? But am I doing anything to make it a vessel for it?
Separate the holy from the profane. It makes
Yeah.
it special when we bring in Shabbat by lighting the candles. We've made room for Shabbat to come in then.
Right.
When we prepare ourselves and our homes as best we can. I mean,
Right? Each one is
everybody does it differently, right?
Right.
I mean, you have a beautiful table. I have a nice table when I have people come over, but it's different in my own way. So it's still honoring.
right. It doesn't matter so much how much we make, right? But the
No.
actual fact that there's also the right balance there. If you work too hard, then you end up resenting it also, right?
Too.
So you need to find the right balance between the work that makes Shabbat more special to you in your eyes and the
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure how that story relates to Chukat, however.
Because there's like basically the word tent in the Torah
Mm-hmm.
is referred to both vitality and deadliness. So the vitality comes from Torah and holiness and singing, which is like, and this is why that's what represents the letter Kuf, which refers to Kadosh,
Mm-hmm.
in this parsha. So you could, so I think it really connects to the last sentence we said, like, how much are you bringing the holiness into your life, and what are you doing that is actually getting you out of the dimensions of holiness, right? So there's like there's the song "Mi Aish Echafetz Chaim Ohev Yamim Lirato Nitzol Eshon Chamera Kusvatecha Midaber Mirma Sumera Vaseto Vakeshalom Verodveru. So the Torah, what's this song telling us? Basically, what is this verse telling us? if you want life, stay away from fuss, stay away from bad mouth, from bad mouthing people, right? נצור לשונך מרע ושפתיך מדבר מרמה, סור מרע ועשה טוב, walk away from bad and do good. בקש שלום ורודפהו, chase peace, and chase peace basically, right? Ask for peace and chase peace. Oh, I heard a beautiful chiddush this week about chasing peace. He says the Yanuka. Have you heard about the Yanuka? He's like this unbelievable, like young guy in his maybe I don't know 30s, maximum early 40s, and he's like basically everybody's going gaga over him now.
Yeah.
He made tshuva when he was like 9 years old or something, 10, I don't remember, something like that. He's a very gifted pianist also.
Right.
And very special guy. Anyway, so he says, like we say, Oseh Shalom B'Momav, like you're the God who's making peace, on earth, right? But we're like, why do we need to ask God to make peace? He is peace, right? And so, like he says, because Hashem actually wants us to chase peace. We need to chase peace. Every conversation that we have, we could emphasize. This book came to my hands this week also by Rabbi Simcha Cohen. Very like I forgot the name, but I can look it up for you later. I hope it's translated. I'm not sure. Of like we can chase peace in every conversation, or we can underline or emphasize what's separating us or what's putting us together, right? In every conversation, right? I could be creating rapport with you, or I could be underlining, what separates us. It doesn't mean that we have to agree upon everything. We don't have to agree upon everything. But the question is, how do we talk to each other in a way that will put us more together, right? How do we create a more of a sense of a community in a way of saying things in a way that makes us feel better walking away from there?
Now
So,
that Hillel and Shammai do it.
right. You could say the exact same things. You could say, I disagree with you in a way that will still feel good.
Right.
So how do we do more than that? And he calls it like that. He says this is revealing God's name in the world. Hashem wants us to reveal his name in the world by chasing peace in our conversations, basically, and the way we talk to each other. So it's not up to him to reveal. And then when I was davening about it, it came to my mind on Friday that in the I think in Lechadodi, right, we say Nagila v'nismecha bach, right? And all of a sudden it came to my mind that Nagila v'negale, to reveal and to rejoice, is the same word in Hebrew. So like when we reveal God's name in our behavior, in our speech, in our behavior, then we rejoice. So now back to what you said, how does the story relate to this? We have the tent of Torah, which is revealing God's name through our behavior. The Torah, all the essence of the Torah, is supposed to reveal to us how to behave, how to talk to each other, how to be kind, and how not to slander each other, etc., etc. So that's the tent of life. And on the other side, we have the tent of outside of the camp of all the impure. What are the impure? Those who slander, those who badmouth, those who are, right? So we put them out of the camp. Why? In a way, like we always think we put them out of the camp. But the thing is, we have to think, I think a little bit in the last years, I'm thinking that it's like when you badmouth someone, God forbid, it's not like the community is putting you out of the camp. You are putting yourself on the other side of the fence, right? Because you're like, it reminds me of this kind of like funny story that is told, like, I don't know, by Hasidim, or I don't know, like where it was invented, like to emphasize this idea that like this one guy comes to the rabbi And he says, Rabbi, I figured out why our community has so many troubles. This one has died, and this one that, and this one that. And the rabbi, and because, like this, because this one is talking Lashon Hara, and this one is not keeping Shabbos well enough, and this one is not dressing modest enough, and this one is this, and this one is that. So the rabbi said, I figured out why we have so much trouble here, because we have somebody who's working around telling Hashem why he should punish everybody
Oh,
for all these so-called right? So we're all not perfect. We all have our faults, right? But the question is, am I, it doesn't matter what you're doing, what matters, am I walking around, telling Hashem, hey, this brother, this sister are really trying their best in front of you. Can you give them a little hand in like pulling them up a bit, And can I maybe do something to pull them up a bit also? So it's a totally different energy that I'm creating in the world that way. So that's the tent of vitality, like the pasuk says, and the other one is the vitality of death. I mean, sorry, the
Lack of
tent,
Right, lack of
the tent of death. We have in the same verse, we have the idea of the tent of vitality and the tent of death, and we want to be in the tent of Torah and the tent of vitality, versus the. So what gives me the extra soul? The tent of Torah.